So we have a question here from Renato Silva, who's asking, so tests are supposed to be updated in tandem with app development? Question mark. This could mean a lot of work while developing and refining the app's features, right? So the question is, do you do it as you go, write test, write code, not necessarily TDD, but at least in tandem? Or do you just go, bang, here's all my code, and now to prove it is that's what I think it's going to do, bang, here's all my tests?
I tend to sort of, if there's going to be a single commit, if there's going to be a single PR, I want to test everything that's going to be in that PR at the time I'm making that PR. Again, the biggest reason for me to do that is context. Like, if you lose the context that you had when you're writing it, writing those tests is going to take you a lot longer. Right. And that's, I think it's something where sort of understanding, like, okay, what is this supposed to do? And being able to sort of have a test for that at the time that you're putting it into the code. Like, you don't have to do the thing of, like, first I write a test and then I write the code and then I pass the test. Like the very strict TDE, because personally that drives me bananas because I don't have that linear of a thinking process. But, the idea of, okay, I want to submit this to my code base. I need to make sure that I have validated that what I'm doing works. I need to also provide a safety net for when I'm changing things in the future. And that's generally when I write tests, because it gives me the advantage of, having that backup and then also still having the context when I'm trying to figure out whether it's doing what I want it to or not.
Okay, so to be clear for Renato and other listeners, you work into sort of discrete chunks, work packages, perhaps as part of a Scrum sprint or something, and inside
Paul, I lost your audio.
Oh dear. Hello? Oh dear. Can anyone else hear me?
Nope. All right. Can people in the stream hear him?
We hear you, says Pastor. So they hear me just fine.
Oh, now I hear you.
They hear me. Oh, you weren't missing much. Just me wittering on. So I was saying, so to be clear for... I did
enjoy the very wild hand gestures. That was very fun.
I'm good at hand gestures. So to be clear for Renato and other listeners, what you're saying is you work in discrete packages. You'll say, for this sprint, whatever you work with, your work package you're dealing with, you want to do that job, but also write the tests for that. Maybe together, maybe afterwards, but in a single package will include the tests and the production code for that work.
Ideally, yeah. Obviously that's not always possible, but I do, again, for me, the biggest thing is writing the test when you still have the context is really, really, really important because, and particularly for me, I have a garbage memory. I really, one of the reasons, it was funny, one of the reasons I got my first job is they were like, you really commented your code like very thoroughly. And I was like, yeah, because I don't remember anything. Well, I didn't say that out loud, but that's basically, the thing is that, like, this is sort of where my garbage memory actually comes in handy, is that, like, by writing these tests, by having good comments, I'm able to say, okay, this is what I was trying to do here.
Right.
And, be able to sort of have one more thing to jog my memory in terms of what was happening when I wrote this code.
So your tests act as documentation is what you're saying. Your tests act as documentation for what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I have definitely found that, and it's definitely something where obviously it's not a substitute for documentation. Like, please, for the love of God, document your code. But it is something where it provides additional context to that documentation, and it's also something where I think one of the things that I've long said is that documentation should be the why, not the what. It shouldn't just be like, here's a line that's 2 times 3. It's like multiplies 2 times 3. And it's, that should be like, we need 6 here because blah, 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 or something like that. It's something where, that kind of documentation is so much more useful than just like putting a label on stuff. But it is something where you still need that information about, sort of what it's doing in like a public API or something like that, where it's like, okay, this is expected to be called from other places. Those other places should know what they're supposed to do with this.